Hey everyone, so here's my 55-gallon community aquarium. I've had this going since 2015, and a few of the fish in here are from 2015, early 2015, so they've been in here for over 4 years. Now I did just kind of mess with a little bit of the filters, so we got a little bit of stuff floating around in the water, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and feed them anyways, so that's going to make stuff be in the water. But I'm going to try to go through and show whatever fish I can. There's one hiding back here. This is a loach, but it kind of sticks on the wall like sucker fish do, and it's not going to want to focus on him that good. Hopefully I'll be able to get a better view of him later. We have a few loaches in here. We have some of those, I don't know how to say it, cool eye loaches or whatever. They're like the little snake ones. I only see them when feeding or late at night sometimes. They're usually hiding. I have a golden zebra loach, which is really cool. He's pretty big. He's a little bigger than my rainbow shark over there. Someone's calling me. Don't need to answer that right now. And hopefully he'll come out when we feed, because he's a pretty cool new addition I added in recently, and when he's active he's awesome. He goes around and just is really active, but sometimes he just chills and sleeps. We got our guppies that have babies quite often, and the babies in here, they just basically are food for the other fish, because they're not going to survive in here. They're going to get sucked up by the filters eventually. So the guppies have been in here for over 2 years, doing great. They don't get messed with by anyone. The male is really pretty if I can get it to focus on him. Got a little bit of reflections going on. Come on, focus on this guy. Can't seem to get a great focus on him. There we go, a little bit. He's got a really pretty tail and really cool markings on his body. And then there's 5 females, I believe. I have a couple glass catfish. I had 3. I don't know what age they were when I got them because they were full size. But I did have 3 to begin with, and about a year after I got them, one of them just seemed to disappear. So got one over here and the other one's up here. They're kind of hard to see. Here's a Tetra that's been in here since the beginning. I did have a school of them, about 5 of them, but they were picking on my other fish. So I was taking out the ones that were being mean to the other fish, and when there was a school of them, they were just bullying everyone. And I ended up getting down to this one and decided to leave him in and see how he did. And he's been in here for over 4 years now. And he's doing great. I wish he could have a school of fish with him, but it's just, they were just bullying everyone. Rainbow shark's been in here since the beginning. He's been in here for over 4 years. There is a Placo somewhere, but he's always hiding. I see him like once a month. Or I'll see his tail sometimes down. He usually sits down up in here. And I got a special type of Placo. You got to be careful with Placos, because the common ones can get over a foot long. They can get huge. I got a species that will only get 4.5 to 5 inches tops. My guys seem to stay around 4 inches. So he's about the size of this red-tailed shark, just in Placo form, so a little wider body. I recently put in all these plants. We have 1, 2, 3. This is another type 4, 5, 6, 7 different types of plants. And then we got this little thing growing down here. And I don't know what that is or where it came from, or what it's going to grow into. It's just got a couple little leaves. It's a seedling. And I don't know what type of plant that is or how it got there. But I did put on a new light recently as well. My old light had been on the tank for a couple years, and even if they're shining, for the plants I wanted something new. So I got a Glow Life Glow, and they say this is really good for freshwater plants. I am using the standard old type of tube fluorescent T8 on this tank, because that's what it came with, and I don't feel like changing everything around like crazy. So far they've done great with the plants. You know, people have used plants forever with these old style bulbs before LEDs were around, so wanted to just keep it simple, and seems to be doing really good. All the plants are doing great. The Java fern has like 1 brown leaf, but other than that, all the plants, the sword, all seem to be doing great. So let me go ahead and just throw in some food here. I got a little mix going on. I'll talk about my filters as well. I put a lot of food in, kind of. I don't usually put in too much food. Most people overfeed aquatic pets and fish. But I wanted to throw in a little bit extra here. So hopefully we'll just get some feeding views, and hopefully we'll get all the fish to come out. Here's another Loach. He's been in here since the beginning. He's kind of a spastic little guy. Forget the exact type he is right now. There are also 3 frogs, which they usually come out at night. I hope that they come out since the food's in here, because they are pretty cool. They stay in a group often, they swim together, and it's really neat to see them swimming around. Have an angelfish. My filters I'm using are Fluval U4 over here, and that's good for up to 64 gallons, I believe. Now, on a tank this stocked and, you know, this big, even though it says it's good for 64, I wanted more than that. So on the back I also have an Aqua Clear 70, which is great. The Aqua Clears are pretty awesome because they have huge media baskets. You can use all types of media. Sure, they have their own stuff, but you can modify it. So I added in some of my own stuff. I put in, might be hard to see, but I got a carbon pad down here, cut to fit. This is a nitrate absorbing sponge. This is a polyfill, like filter floss. So I cut to size the material I need, and I do use their sponge filter, which is like a coarse sponge on the bottom, and it's a nice big sponge. The Aqua Clears are really great. Kind of expensive, but they seem like great filters. I was having trouble with my Marineland penguin filters being super loud and rattle, rattle, rattle. These filters make a tiny bit of noise, but it's like kind of more like a consistent humming noise, and of course the water noise, and they don't bother me. I do have a wave maker or water mover, whatever you want to call them, and I don't always have that on. I didn't want to have it on when I fed here, so it's unplugged, but I do turn that on sometimes. And then I have a Fluval E200, I believe, heater, which has worked great for years. It's probably my favorite heater I've ever used. It has a readout of the temperature, and if it gets too hot or cold, it'll let you know by going blue or red instead of green. Green is the good zone, and it always keeps it between 77.5 and 78. I never see any numbers on there other than that. I believe I have it set to 77.5, so it keeps it perfect all year round, and it's been working great for years, and it's enclosed. I really like that heater. You do need water flow for this heater. It like senses if it's too little flow. So with the Fluval over here pushing water this way, it's got nice flow going and never had an issue. Oh, here's one of the frogs. He came out. Hopefully his friends come out. But they're really cool when they swim around and get active. He'll probably just kind of crawl around the bottom and swim a little bit looking for the food that he knows is in there. But they'll all swim together and hang out together. They're supposed to be pretty social animals. It's pretty neat. This used to be a saltwater tank from like 2008 to I don't know, 2013 or so. Then I let it sit kind of just empty for a little while when I decided to take down the saltwater. Then I set it back up in 2015 as a freshwater community. So I had all this live rock. I wasn't going to throw it out. It's fairly expensive stuff, and it's great for housing beneficial bacteria in freshwater as well. So I just left it in there and then put in some driftwood. And I had a couple plants before. This plant I've had for a couple years. It's a little plant in the middle. It used to be a little bigger. I think my light just wasn't doing so great because it was old, so that's why I got a new light too. It's been in there for a couple years though. And then a couple of the other ones I added more recently. I wish the zebra Loach would come out because he's pretty cool, but we've seen most of the fish in here. It looks like we got the frogs. Couple of them together now. I'm pretty sure I saw two, but I think, yep, yeah, there's two right there. It's just hard to see them. Yep, and a loach. So that's the 55 gallon. I wish we could have seen the zebra loach I put in. He must just be sleeping or in back there and not interested right now. Not hungry enough to come out. Little frog going everywhere crazy. So any questions, let me know. I just wanted to do an update and show what it looks like now. And happy pet keeping. We'll see y'all later.